Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Thursday, the 8th of February. Good to have you aboard, part of the Believe Podcast Network, and presented as always by Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. And of course, we're only a few days away from the big game in Vegas, and our partner, BetOnline, is your number one source for football odds, stats, trends, lines, with everything from point spreads to hundreds of bets on everything from the coin toss to the color of the Gatorade to Taylor Swift's lipstick. BetOnline is the number one source for all your championship wagering. Head to BetOnline and join today to get into all the action. BetOnline, the game starts here. So, glad to have you here with us on a Thursday. I was on Driving the Line this morning, so if you want to go check that out, youtube.com/@drivingline. You can check that out with my guy Coach and Alan Bell. Gave out some picks, did a little Super Bowl talk, all that good stuff. Also, last night, we did ESPN Radio. My homegirl, Amber Wilson, I'm back on with her tonight. So tonight, ESPN Radio, 7 to 10 p.m., filling in on Amber and Ian. Hope you come and join us there. We're going to have a lot of fun. NBA trade deadline. That's likely going to dominate the show tonight on ESPN Radio, and we're going to do a lot of it, most importantly, here today on ZASLOW Show 2.0. So, news is coming out fast and furious right now as far as the trade deadline is concerned. So, we do have a lot of the notes as far as the trade deadline goes. Some stuff we're not going to be able to get to because you're going to be listening and the trades just happened, maybe a couple hours after I wrapped up this show here today. So you're going to say to yourself, ZASLOW, why didn't you talk about this trade? Why didn't you talk about this trade? You're listening in the future. I don't have all of the information that you have, but the information that I do have is starting to come in. The Heat last night, they win 2 nights in a row, back-to-back, the rare home and home, back-to-back, where they get the W against San Antonio. And I'll tell you, I'm doing the show with Amber Wilson last night on ESPN Radio. I have the Heat game on my TV here in the ZASLOW Mansion studios, in the ZASLOW Mansion master bedroom. And I'm almost distracted from doing the show because this Victor Wembanyama, he's so big. I mean, it doesn't even make sense how big this guy is. He dwarfs Bam. He dwarfs everybody's on the floor with. He doesn't even look like a real human. It's like if Slender Man was a basketball player. He's out there putting the ball in the hoop instead of killing people. It's bizarre to watch him. And I understand, you may be saying to yourself, ZASLOW, he's been playing the whole year. All right, but it's the first time that the game was in Miami. I'm dialed into the game. I'm watching Wembanyama the whole game. All right, it is weird watching him out there. And I'm going to stick to this hot take. I don't think dunking's fun for him. I don't think dunking's fun for him in the way that it's fun for other players. You know, when another player goes up for a huge slam, it's exciting. They roar at the crowd. They pump their fist. They flex or whatever. For Wembanyama, it's too easy for it to be like a thing to get really excited about. I don't think dunking is fun for Wembanyama. How about that? So, the Heat, though, most importantly, they get the win last night. It is their 4th win in their last 5 games. We go into the we go into the trade deadline in 3 p.m. today. So Pat Riley's got a few hours left to trade for Steph Curry or for Giannis. But we go into the trade deadline today in what I believe is going to be a quiet trade deadline for the Heat. Watch. In the middle of doing this, or by the time you're listening, the Heat all made some massive trade. I think the Heat already made their move. If the Heat don't do anything today, it's, the Heat, another year they didn't do anything. They traded for Terry Rozier a couple weeks ago. It's a pretty big trade. If the Heat made that trade today, you'd be, oh man, huge deadline day move by the Heat. All right, well, they did their deadline day move a couple of weeks ago. Matter of fact, OG Anunoby to New York. That's a big move that wasn't done on deadline day. So there have already been moves that have been made this year that have been pretty substantial They just weren't done today. But with that said, here's what we have so far. Here's some of the bigger names that have been moved. Kelly Olynyk goes to Toronto. I don't understand that move. I don't know how to make sense of that. I would have thought that they would have shipped Olynyk to a team that's looking to add, like a team like Miami, but a team that's looking to add him and trying to win. Toronto sent a first-round pick the other way. Now, I know there's a couple more pieces there, but, like, Olynyk is the bigger name going in that deal. I don't understand the Olynyk to Toronto move. One of the bigger moves, one of the first moves that happened today, Buddy Hield goes to Philadelphia. This is a good move for the Sixers. What the Sixers are doing, they stink without Embiid. They're 4-12 without Embiid this year, including getting their shit kicked in last night at home against the Warriors. They're going to try and tread water, hoping that Embiid can come back in a month or so by the playoffs. They're hoping to add Hield, have him give them scoring punch, which he will, still make the playoffs, and then hoping to get Embiid back, or maybe get Embiid right before the playoffs. So I like the move there for Philadelphia. They trade away Furkan Korkmaz and Marcus Morris. So good trade for Philadelphia. Seems like a no-brainer. For Indiana's side of things, I guess they just felt, look, we weren't going to pay Buddy Hield anyway, but, Indiana's a team that's trying to win also. So I don't really understand the deal from Indiana's perspective. For Philadelphia's side, I like the deal. Gordon Hayward has been traded to Oklahoma City. This is a weird deal. I understand. Now, Charlotte got a couple second-round picks in return. They didn't really get anything else. Trey Mann, I think, was sent there as well. For Oklahoma City, it's weird because you're not going to start Hayward, right? Like, you're not going to start him over Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's a better player right now than Gordon Hayward. So I guess Hayward will come off the bench for them. But do I want Gordon Hayward, who's never healthy? Do I want him taking minutes from Josh Giddey? I don't think so. So that's a little bit of a weird move, I think. Hayward to Oklahoma City. Speaking of Charlotte, they are not trading away Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges, because of the type of contract that he signed, he has veto power, and he said he does not want to be traded. He wants to stay and sign long-term. It was one of those deals where the Hornets believed in me. They've stood by my side. He forgets to leave out the part when I beat up my wife in front of my kids, and he wants to stay in Charlotte. I can't. Why would a team want to trade for him? Like, I'd be so pissed off if the Miami Heat were to trade for Miles Bridges. And by the way, obviously he's represented by Rich Paul and Clutch Sports. That's why you're never going to get LeBron. Look, if an NBA owner says something that could be determined racist, LeBron will tell you there's no place for this in our league. You got to get rid of this guy. But Miles Bridges, because he's a member of Clutch, Miles Bridges can beat up women. And LeBron's going to yuck it up with him on the sideline. It's gross. It's gross. So he's not going anywhere. Apparently, Kyle Kuzma in Washington, they're not going to send him anywhere. It's a weird thing with the NBA. In Major League Baseball, in the National Hockey League, when you get to the trade deadline and your team sucks, it's fire sale time. Get rid of pieces, try and get future pieces so you can help rebuilding. I don't know why the NBA doesn't do that. Like, why wouldn't Washington do everything in their power to trade Kyle Kuzma, to trade Jordan Poole, to get rid of everyone? I don't get it. And right now, New York looks like the big winner of the trade deadline day. They've traded away Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, and a couple second-round picks to Detroit for Alec Burks and Bogdan Bogdanovic. Huge trade for New York. Gives, especially while Julius Randle's out, gives Jalen Brunson two big-time shooters. Burks can score. Bogdanovic can score. This is a major deadline day move for New York. I already told them, I think New York is a contender. I think they're the second best team in the Eastern Conference. And now I absolutely believe they're the second best team in the Eastern Conference. I think New York is a serious contender before this trade. Now I think they're a very serious contender. Look what New York has done the last couple weeks. They've added Alec Burks, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and OG Anunoby. And what have they given up? Emmanuel Quickley, Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett. So what? Haven't given up any of those first-round picks. They're hoarding them. A plus couple weeks in New York Knicks. The Knicks get no love in the ZASLOW Mansion. You know this. got to give credit where credit's due. I think the Knicks are a contender. I really do. Knicks fans should be excited. I'm sure Knicks fans excited. Knicks fan gets excited when the team wins a playoff game. The streamers and the balloons and the confetti come down from the rafters at the Garden. What an embarrassment. When you make good trades, you should really be excited. I think the Knicks are a big-time contender. Gotta be fair. So that's what's going on right now as far as the NBA trade deadline is concerned. I'm sure by the time you're listening, there will be some more moves. Our homegirl, Trista Crick, is going to join us. BetMGM, Odyssey. She's on BetMGM every night. She's out there live, Radio Row in Vegas. We're going to get Trista on. We'll talk NBA. We'll do a little Super Bowl Radio Row with her. The Heat last night, they beat San Antonio 116-104. Now, Jimmy Butler said he thinks things are fixed. They've got back to having fun. Oh, it's easy having fun. It's easy to beat teams like San Antonio. Look, during that 7-game losing streak, they lost to teams like Memphis. All right, so it's not just about who they're playing. They're legitimately playing better. And it's part of why I don't believe they're going to make any kind of significant trade today. I don't think they're going to make any kind of trade today. I think they like where they're at. I think the trade they made was Terry Rozier a couple of weeks ago. They've won 4 out of 5. Tyler Hero's in a little bit of a different role now. That's starting to pay off. Terry Rozier is getting more comfortable. The shooting percentage is still not there, but he's a threat. He's active. He does things. He's not that bum Kyle Lowry. Jimmy Butler, franchise all-time leader in triple-doubles. Amazing, right? 17 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists last night. Bam had 20 points. He was 10 of 14 from the floor. Tyler Hero, fantastic. 24 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. He was 10 of 15 from the floor. And, Caleb Martin, I told you they should trade Caleb Martin. The emergence of Highsmith, Jaquez Jr., even the resurgence of Duncan Robinson, they're not going to keep Caleb Martin next year. So they should trade him. I might be willing to lose Martin for nothing. Like, don't trade him today. I might be willing to lose him for nothing if it means that he's a big help in the postseason. And last year's version of playoff Caleb Martin was a big-time player. I mean, that Milwaukee series, he thought he was the best player on the floor. The Boston series, he thought he was the best player on the floor. I might be willing to lose him for nothing and have more short-term vision than long-term vision if it means contending for a championship again. I think the Heat got to give that serious consideration, even though I've been advocating for them to trade Caleb Martin because they're not going to keep him. I may be willing to lose him for nothing because that's what's better short-term. You got to think long and hard about that. So the Heat, next up for them, they've won 4 out of 5 Sunday afternoon. Boston Celtics. All right. Feeling good about ourselves. Now we got a little bit of a measuring stick game on Super Bowl Sunday afternoon. Tell you what else we're excited about. And that's whenever we talk about our great sponsors. How about Sheets and Giggles? SheetsGiggles.com helps me get the best sleep of my life every single night. I know I'm going to wake up refreshed. I get all my bed sheets at SheetsGiggles.com. I take advantage of the sales, the promotions. If this is the first time you're going to SheetsGiggles.com, use promo code ZASLOW. You'll get 20% off your first order. I wake up every morning refreshed because I'm sleeping on the softest, coolest, most breathable sheets out there. SheetsGiggles.com. My man Colin, the founder and CEO of Sheets and Giggles, he's making sure we're getting the best sleep of our lives, the best material, because Sheets and Giggles, it's made from the wood of eucalyptus trees, and we're still making sure we're doing it in an environmentally friendly way. The best sleep of your life, you're going to become one of over 100,000 Americans sleeping on Sheets and Giggles, just like the ZASLOW family. But the very first time you go to SheetsGiggles.com, use promo code ZASLOW, Z-A-S-L-O-W, promo code ZASLOW, 20% off your first order, SheetsGiggles.com.